Wow, what an episode. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm Clark Beckham, former runner-up of season 14 on American Idol. Let's go. While you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to be a member to get access to the exclusive members only immediate reaction live stream after I watch the episode, I kind of go through all these notes pretty candidly, don't really sugarcoat much, and you want to help me out, help me continue to do these videos, you can join as a member if you click the join button below this video. So right at the top of the show, Ryan just casually says Wyatt will no longer be competing in the show, that he had to drop out. Quote, had to drop out. What in the world? I hope everything's all right. Part of me feels like something bad happened, like a tragedy, and that is really scary. I hope he's okay. I hope he dropped out because he wanted to try it on his own and didn't want to be on the show anymore. I hope it's something like that rather than there was a family emergency or something back home that he had to go and attend to. Prayers are headed his way. We were introduced to the danger zone this episode, which I actually liked a lot. I liked bringing them out and not knowing what was going on, and then Ryan telling them if they made it to the top 10, America's top 10, or if they're going to be in the danger zone and singing for their life. I like the idea of a contestant being told you're singing for your life on the show and then seeing what happens. What do they do with that? What do they do with that pressure? Do they rise up to it and do better or not? And there were a couple people that did better than they've ever done in that pressure, which is really, really impressive and speaks to the star quality that they have. First, we've got Casey Bishop. She goes through to America's Top 10. Another incredible performance. I don't like the guitars in the back. I don't like it. The rock thing, I'm fine with rock, but the arrangement with the giant droning electric hard distorted guitars in the back, I wasn't into that arrangement. And vocally, she just kills it. I've said in the last episode that Grace has the most powerful voice, but a member in the live stream actually brought up, what about Casey? I don't know. That's a really, really good matchup actually as far as just power. But Casey hits a run and goes up top, similar to Audition. Dear Lord. Towards the end, it got really great. The beginning, she's flawless the whole time. I just wasn't a big fan of the arrangement. Next, we have Colin Jamieson, who is our first contestant who was in the danger zone. I hate this because, as you know, I've been a fan of Colin lately. He's been really great. And listen, he's a better singer than a lot of you are giving him credit for. If you had any other male singer try the songs that he was doing in the key that he was doing, they wouldn't be able to hit it. He's really doing an incredible job vocally. He does a great job here. There's a little bit of a lull in the second half where I kind of start to lose interest a bit, but he does really well, delivers a great vocal. Once again, a super consistent singer and contestant. Wasn't enough, unfortunately, as the judges did not pick to save him. Deshawn Goncalves sings Higher Ground. I'm thinking, oh, can he do up-tempo cool stuff? The answer is yes. Yes, he can. Dan. Okay, now Paul is Dan. The band, this is their thing. The funky, groovy stuff, that's their specialty. His eyes are open the whole time. He's smiling. He looks like he's genuinely having a great time on stage, soaking it all in, and I'm having fun with it. He's delivering really well. I didn't know he could do that. Great, great performance. Another super consistent contestant. Next is Cassandra. What a beautiful dress. And the stage. This stage is the best stage I've ever seen, ever, anywhere. It's just incredible. Once they've gone live, because we are live now, they've added wardrobe and makeup into the mix, and there's a huge difference in appearance for all the contestants. You're just gonna have a huge step up visually when you have professional TV makeup artists doing your makeup and professional stylists doing your clothes compared to yourself or your mom. In my case, it was my mom. Cassandra started out great vocally. She started to get a little looser as far as the pitch goes and and got a little yelly towards the end. And I think what happens time and time again with so many contestants, the emotion gets out ahead of your voice. You've got all the adrenaline, and the adrenaline is mixed with the obvious reason of being on American Idol, but it's also, there's this idea that if I have enough adrenaline, if I'm excited enough, my nerves will go away, and they're actually the same substance. If you fall back into relaxing into the song and loving the song and really just focusing on delivering and cherishing the song as you sing it, that extra adrenaline will get put where it needs to be, and you won't feel like you're going on a roller coaster ride. You'll feel like you're delivering a performance, doing what you're made to do, and she is made to do this. I think she's just getting sucked up in the adrenaline high a little too much. I've been seeing some contestants take critique pretty hard, not necessarily from my video, although that's happened, but comments on their own page and American Idol's page, and I've got two things to say. One, if you're a contestant and you are sensitive to critique, because you're not really getting it on the show, the judges are pretty fluffy, but if you're sensitive to someone saying that they don't think you did very well, don't watch these videos. My job as a reviewer is to be honest and critique performances. My heart is for you as the contestant so much more than anything else. I want to help you. If me critiquing you would hurt your feelings, I understand that totally, and it's more natural for that to happen than it to not bother you. So I get it, but please don't watch these. I'm gonna have great things to say sometimes, and I'm gonna have not so great things to say. That's what makes me able to do these reviews accurately and of high quality. Also, I guess I have three things to say. Number two would be, you're gonna sing bad. You're going to. Everyone is. I'm gonna sing bad. I sing bad all the time. I crack all the time. I'm flat and sharp all the time. Every great singer sings bad sometimes. That's just gonna happen. And with that, you're gonna get the haters. You're gonna get people who are actually making hateful comments on your Instagram and American Idols. That just kind of comes with it. So understand, it's okay to sing poorly. It happens sometimes. The third thing I'll say, now I'm talking to the fans. If you're watching this and you think a singer did poorly, come here in the comments and we'll talk about it. You and me and the community of the Groove Crew and everyone. But do not, under any circumstance, comment on their page what you think about them if it's negative. You're doing nobody any good. These are kids. They're going into this. They're not cocky. They don't need to be put down a peg. They're doing their best on this national television stage and are braver than you. So the audacity that some people have to actually go on their page, on their Instagram posts, and tell them how terrible they are and how bad they did, that's inappropriate, mean-spirited, cowardly, and never okay. If anyone's watching this and has done that, come here. This is the place where you can talk what you think about singers. And if they come to this video, as soon as they click play, they're consenting to my opinion, because that's what this whole video is about. And if they decide to read comments in other people's threads and other people's posts, they're consenting to hearing some good or bad things. But absolutely under no circumstance go to their profile and post about how they did poorly. Okay, moving on. Caleb Kennedy is next. He sings an original. I'm not crazy about this. I'm not crazy about Caleb anymore. He's got something special and he's writing great songs. I think he'll do better in 2 or 3 years. I think he's got a lot of talent. I'm just not a big fan of his on the show as I used to be. But I will say, it is very impressive that he came out with no hat, no guitar, and was walking around on stage. That's a big deal. When I was on, I always had an instrument in my hand, and when I didn't, I had a straight stand and I stood still, and I was still jittery. It's a big deal that as young as he is, he was able to take the guitar away and just walk around on stage, on this massive stage. Props for that. Ryan announces that next week they're gonna have real-time voting and the show is gonna be live from coast to coast. This is a big deal because last year they did real-time voting for the winner and they did not do it coast to coast. They did it for the East Coast time. The East Coast watchers could watch the show and vote as they watched. The West Coast people, their show didn't come on until 2 hours later and they had to keep up with what was happening on Twitter and then vote that way. And guess what we had? We had the winner and the runner-up from the East Coast, and everyone on the West Coast made up the remaining of the people who didn't get enough votes. So in my opinion, and I talked about this last year on the finale video, that was the biggest voting blunder in American Idol history. And I think the reason we got number 1 and number 2 was because they were on the East Coast. I don't think they did it on purpose. I think they just really missed the boat on that one. Now they fixed that mistake and it's live coast to coast. Moving on to Madison Watkins. She's in the danger zone. This is a perfect example of someone who is faced with the fact that they have to sing for their life on the show, and she steps up to the plate and does better than she's ever done.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. phone. Late night when you need my love. Cause I know when that hotline bleeds, that could only mean one thing. I know when that hotline bleeds, that could only mean one thing. Cause ever since I left the city, you, come on, got a reputation for yourself now. Everybody knows and I feel left out.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me down, you got me stressed out. Cause ever since I left the city, you and me, we just don't get along. You make me feel like I did you wrong.
Gross.
Going places where you don't belong. You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. You used to call me. Why don't you call me, baby?
Oh my gosh, arrangement.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Praise the Lord. Golly. Whoa. Sounds better than she's ever sounded, emotes the best, performs the best, does the best arrangement, has the best song she's ever done. When it needed to come through and for her to do her best, she knocked it out of the park. Really, really, really cool arrangement. Next we have Ava August, just her and the piano for most of it, which is a very exposed position to be in. She starts off a little rough. She's got pretty deep, round vowels. She's got some big star power though. She's got the it factor, and it's not just her look or her presence or something like that. There's things that she's doing vocally that you cannot teach that are so special, and she's 15. I think in 3 years she wins the show, and I'm almost nervous about the contestants that come in so young, like Caleb, like Ava, who aren't quite ready. There's still some holes there. I was going to audition for American Idol when I was 18, right out of high school, and I was a good singer, and I was an okay piano player and could play guitar, but I felt very strongly I wasn't supposed to at that point. 4 years later, after college, I auditioned, and I was 5 times the singer and the player and the music arranger that I was when I was 18. If I would have auditioned when I was 18, I might have done well, but I would have had some shortcomings that when I was 22, I did not have those shortcomings. And that's why I think I did really well on the show. So I'm worried that some people are just here a little too early. And I think she might be one of them, but she has some legit star power and some incredible moments in this performance and everything she does. Side note, we got Paula Abdul as a guest judge. I love it. I think she's killing it. She says a couple awkward things about an STD and breast milk, but typically her critiques are really good, and it sounds like she's about to tell a contestant the truth that they didn't do well, and then she rounds it up and kind of remembers like, oh yeah, this isn't the same American Idol. The judges just fluff everybody for the most part. Next we have Bean, who is in the danger zone. He sings a Ben Platt song, which is what he needs to be singing. I wrote down, there's the Bean that we know and love.
Bean, America did not put you in the top 10, okay?
Ha! Oh, dear Lord.
You say there's so much you don't know.
Yes, song.
You need to go and find yourself.
Yes, song.
You say you'd rather be alone. You can ebb and I can flow, and we'll take it slow and grow as we go.
Yes.
Who said it's true that the growing only happens on your own?
Yeah. Nice. Great song, great melody, great emotion. That's where he needs to lean, in my opinion. He is very, very fortunate that he had the judges saved to sing for, and he nailed it when he needed to. But listen, not everybody gets a second chance like that. And frankly, you don't get to have average, forgettable performances like he's had the last 2 times. You can't afford to do that on American Idol. When you're going through cuts like 24 to 16 and then 16 to 10, your song choices need to be as if the winner was going to be selected from that night. You cannot afford to do an performance with these cuts. He steps up to the plate, nails it. Again, that's the Bean we know and love. I hope I hear more of that kind of style. He does great. Lionel says something. Lionel says, "You used to be so nervous when you sang." What? I've never in my life seen someone as relaxed, cool, and confident as they performed for anything ever than Bean's audition. He has been Mr. Poise and relax and comfort for the entire show. What is even coming out of your mouth for you to say, "You used to be so nervous when you sang and now look how relaxed you are"? Honestly, he's seemed more nervous there than he ever has, and he still came across smooth and poised. So what in the world are you talking about? I think it plays into the narrative that they pursue, and they do this all the time, where they say, "I'm seeing your growth. You're growing so much on the show." I don't think Bean is in growth. I think he's been fully developed from the very beginning, and he's revealing more of himself as we go on. And he might have an off performance or two and then do great, but that doesn't mean he's growing on the show. I think he's been the fantastic, wonderful Bean that we've always known. And I think he's fully matured musically and as an artist. The audacity to say you used to be so nervous when you sang. I'm telling you, never in my life have I seen someone sing with such poise and comfort and confidence ever than his audition. And every performance I saw in Hollywood Week too. Used to be so... Get out of here. Go stand somewhere. Next we have Chase Beckham. He makes it into America's Top 10. There's a crazy transition between whether they tell you you're in the danger zone or if you made it into the top 10 and when you sing, especially if you have an instrument. And it's cool that they let us watch that transition as Ryan talks. We can see them in the background, getting the microphone, getting the straight stand, getting the guitar, checking, and it's 3, 2, 1, go. They're handling that transition really well. They don't get a bumper video for 30 seconds. It's like 10 seconds maybe. He sounds great. Again, for me, he starts out really nice and with a great mix of rasp and vocal resonance, and then towards the end leans more into the rasp. Maybe it's me being nitpicky. He's a star with what he does. Like that thing that he does and his look and his beautiful smile and his nice, good old average American hardworking man identity, like he's crushing that on all accounts. Vocally and as far as his performance goes, but I have to be honest, it's not quite my cup of tea. There have been winners that have done just what he's doing and not as good as he's doing it. But me personally, I'm not going crazy about his performances so much. It's something funny he says, talks about how tight the jeans are. It's so funny. As soon as wardrobe comes in, the first thing they do is try to get the guys in the tightest pair. Bro, they're going to get tighter. I'm telling you now, they're going to try to put you in tighter pants each week. Nick Fradiani, the winner of my season, and I both were forced into skinny jeans after skinny jeans after skinny jeans. And we're both not the kind of guys that wear those types of pants, but they will put you in them. And honestly, you'll start to see why. And I kind of wear skinnier pants now. ALYSSA RAY is next. She's got moments where she sounds like she is as good as anybody at singing Whitney Houston songs. There are parts that are fantastic, and then she kind of falls apart a little bit and doesn't quite close, make it a full round fantastic performance. ALANIS SOPHIA is next. She is in the... She starts off doing as good as she's ever done, sounding great, and I'm thinking, wow, here's another person stepping up to the plate, doing better than they've ever done when they really need to. And then by the end, it seems that she's bit off a little more than she can chew. The arrangement's a little too intense, a little too high, it sounds. She gets a little lost in the big belting notes, starts to miss those, doesn't hit them. Adrenaline hits. She starts to shout a little bit to try to hit the notes. Can't quite get there. Falls apart a little bit at the end. First half was great. The arrangement of the band was great. She just doesn't quite finish it well. Also, Ryan announces that they're going from 10 plus 2, so 12, and then next week they're going to 9, adding a contestant from last season. This is a massive twist.
Hold on to your butts.
Ryan is flying through these twists. Like, oh, by the way, Wyatt isn't in the show anymore, and we're gonna have some people come from last season fill one of the spots. That's a big, big, big deal. And they say it's because they had a lot of their season stolen from them from COVID, which is totally true. And I love it. I'm all for it. We're going to see who stayed on their craft, who stayed on their game, who's a beast, who's better, and who's going to make this spot. Only one gets voted in. That's going to be fierce. Next, we have Willie Spence doing Diamonds, the song that he auditioned with. The band arrangement is crazy. Again, I'm finding that there is a little bit of a predictable formula with Willie. Do a female pop song, have a crazy arrangement, and go insane at the end. It seems to be the formula that has been working for him, but I don't know if that can sustain him for the entirety of the show. He does get a little bit out of control for just a couple seconds. Other than that, it's classic, flawless, strong, dependable Willie. Grace Kinsler sings Dangerous Woman. The melody for Dangerous Woman is focused on really hanging on that minor third. So here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a flat 3, or a minor 3. You make me feel like a dangerous woman. There's a huge accent on that half step flat note there of the minor third. And it seems there's a moment in the performance where maybe she lost her tonal center and doesn't hear very well. And she actually sings entirely off key for about 5 seconds. Very unlike her, must have been a hearing thing, just kind of gotten lost in a lack of focus. She throws a run that isn't really precise. It's not done with care. Something that Katie said about Willie is every note that he sings is with care. I don't feel that way about Grace, especially when it comes to runs. And then she comes out of it and hits the most gorgeous, held out, belting high note, as good as I've ever heard. She just can come through with these crazy notes that makes probably most people forget about everything that happened before that. But for me, to go to the next level, you have to get everything before that right on the money, plan out your runs. She can do runs. I've seen her on Instagram. She can do runs as good as anybody. Plan them out, nail them. Don't throw yourself down the stairs into a run. Plot it out meticulously and nail it. If you could take Grace and Willie and combine them, you would have a vocal superstar monster. So her big stunt notes are as good as they come, but I'm looking forward to seeing her do a complete performance. Next, we've got Hunter Metz. He sings one of the greatest songs of all time, I Can't Make You Love Me. He seems a little bit out of his element, and what I mean is every time I hear him sing, I see Hunter the artist, that's him. This time I saw Hunter singing a cover song for the first time. He still did great, and I still felt all the emotion, but it wasn't my favorite performance of his. By the way, he is extraordinarily good looking. He is one of the most handsome people I've ever seen in my life. He's not as good looking as Chanley, my wife. She's gorgeous. I love her so much that I actually wrote a song about our relationship. It's called Luckiest Man, and it's on my album Lightyear that you can listen to wherever you listen to music, and it sounds like I'd be the luckiest man to have been alive. I can tell he cherishes the song when he sings it, and he might be the winner. When I was going through my premiere last time and watching everybody's comments, everybody's hit and miss with Willie, everybody's hit and miss about Grace, everybody's hit and miss about almost everyone. As soon as I talk about Hunter, the premiere chat lights up with, oh my gosh, I love Hunter, I love Hunter, I love Hunter, I love Hunter. There might be one person that's like, his voice is different, and then they're drowned out by everyone else. I think he's fantastic, and he might win. Lastly, we have Graham DeFranco. He is in the... He sings Cover Me Up, a great song. He's a tone master. He sounds like John Mayer, and no one has ever sounded like John Mayer to me. He's getting a little bouncy. That happens when you got a lot of adrenaline, you don't know what to do with it, and you feel like you need to be excited and give energy into the song, and it comes out by bouncing. I watched my performances back on the show, and I did that all the time, and in hindsight, drove me nuts. I was like, stay still. You don't have to move. Go back to BEANE's performance in Hollywood of What's Going On. He's so still and stoic, and it's incredible. You can see that he's having a blast, taking it all in. I think he suspects that this is his last performance he'll have on Idol. He does not get saved. He had a great run, great guy, has a lot of friendship. Also, when Hunter made it and they had that little exchange between Hunter and Graham, I think Hunter said, "I love you, man." And Graham was nodding to him and kind of giving the approval like, "You deserve it." You've got to understand that is real. Through my whole life, I've had a lot of fantastic relationships. There is absolutely nothing like the relationship, the friendship that you get with a fellow American Idol contestant going through all of this together. I'm telling you, you'll never understand it unless you're on the show. And we're actually getting to watch that and witness that between Hunter and Graham right here. I'm telling you, that is 100% real life love right there. If I haven't said it already, the judges saved Madison and Beane. Those are the two that I was thinking of. Colin was also there for me, but Madison did better than she's ever done. Beane had a great performance. The judges say this is solely on the performances tonight. I don't buy that for a second. I think they kept the two best people they could think of, and maybe they had the great performances, so they were justifying the people because they had the criteria that they made up, but I don't care. I think still they made the perfect decision. Those are the two I was thinking of. Tune in next week for the episode because that's gonna be nuts. I don't even know fully what's going on, but we'll figure it out. I'll make another video and we'll sift through the craziness. You guys be great. I'll see you next week.
I die as long as you're by my side. I'd be the luckiest man to have been alive.